外贸企业想要出口转内销。
To the foreign trade companies thinking of shifting to domestic sales, wake up! It's simply not practical. You think you can just bring foreign products back and compete in the domestic market? The price war in the domestic market has already pushed profits to the lowest point. There's no room left for foreign products to make a profit.
The ongoing trade war between the US and China, marked by high tariffs on both sides, is severely disrupting trade between the two nations. In an effort to relieve inventory pressure, Chinese exporters are increasingly turning to the domestic market. During the May Day holiday, over 20 export-focused companies showcased their products at the Foreign Trade Products Fair held at Wuyue Plaza in Huai'an City, Jiangsu. However, despite offering relatively low prices, the event saw limited attendance. This was due to a narrow range of products, inconsistent quality, and a lack of established brand recognition.
Are you directly importing the goods?
Buying them to wear myself, I can't even cover the cost at this price.
There are many excellent foreign trade export companies here. This May, at the Plaza Business Bureau, these companies were brought offline, allowing us to buy high-quality products at factory prices. Which brands have you done contract manufacturing for?
Ferrari, Boston.
Ferrari brand at just 30 yuan per item. You can wear it yourself or buy it for your son. Look at this cotton jacket. So big, just 100 yuan. Get some for the off-season.
Slippers for just 9.9 yuan a pair, so cheap. They're cotton and they're exported to France. I've already bought 15 to 20 pairs.
How long have you been running a foreign trade factory?
18 years. We make products for brands like Disney, H&M, and Gap.
And all these cost 19.9 yuan?
This one's from the A-Tour Hotel, originally 299 yuan, now just 100 yuan. They are exported to Japan and Europe too.
T-shirts for 20 yuan, children's shorts for 10 yuan.
Not making any money, just clearing out stock.
Wow, this looks really good. Hey, these are all just 15 yuan each. You can use them for skiing, but what else can they be used for?
They are also good for cycling and e-bike riding. Anta Sports has similar ones for over 200 yuan.
A pack of 3 cotton t-shirts, 50 yuan. All these t-shirts are 50 yuan each, and all these pants are 50 yuan each too. These hats are only 15 yuan each. You'd pay 30 or 40 yuan for the same ones outside.
I've been working in this factory for over 20 years, and we've exported hundreds of thousands of hats to more than 10 countries.
They are all Disney products. These can't be faked. Not every factory can make Disney products.
You've all seen dish towels, but have you seen dish towels this good looking? Good quality products that foreigners use. Now Chinese people can use them too. There are plenty of quality foreign trade goods here. If you want to stock up during the May Day holiday, just come to Wuyue Plaza.
Although shifting from export to domestic markets poses many challenges, some Chinese businesses are trying domestic sales to survive. On social platforms like Xiaohongshu and Douyin, new accounts identifying as export traders began offering products at steep discounts in live streams. Since mid-April, the e-commerce platform JD set up a special section selling products originally intended for US buyers, offering discounts up to 50%. Some manufacturers are also directly clearing their stock at ports, selling clothing at rock-bottom prices.
As of today, tariffs have risen to 245%. This one container is 3 meters by 15.5 meters, and I can fit about 30,000 items in it. I currently can't even send the goods out. I'll lose money if I do. We specialize in high-end women's luxury fashion manufacturing. For items like these, which we sell to brands, they're sold at 100 to 200 US dollars abroad. Today, I've decided to clear all of them out at the port, selling at 2/3 of the price. For just over 100 yuan, you can take them home.
Export Goods Fair showcased a wide range of foreign trade products from over 10 companies. Exhibits included footwear, clothing, household items, pet supplies, and tea gift sets, aimed at opening domestic sales channels for exporters. A representative from a women's footwear manufacturer in Q District, Shanghai, stated their company was founded in 2004 and primarily produces high-end shoes for European and American markets. With tariffs leaving many products unsold in warehouses, the firm brought over 100 styles to the fair, pricing them between 58 and 239 yen to appeal to local consumers. Another exporter highlighted their partnership with Saludos, noting that while the brand is popular abroad and sells for hundreds of dollars per pair, their factory in Jiangsu province is now offloading these same shoes domestically at 100-200 yen. The goal is clear inventory, and recover some losses. These companies hope domestic exposure can ease inventory pressure, but most are under no illusion that these efforts can fully replace export income. The exhibition demonstrated the scale of excess supply, but also revealed that price slashing remains the dominant tactic, raising questions about long-term sustainability. However, many foreign trade business owners are not optimistic about shifting entirely to domestic sales. A businessman from Anhui province with over 20 years in foreign trade said that U.S. tariffs impacted his business severely. About 1 million yen worth of goods produced, but unable to ship. He does not intend to fully shift to domestic sales because the domestic market is highly competitive. He explained that domestic sales might cover basic operational costs, but substantial profit still relies on exports.
On May 6, a foreign trade professional known as Old Fans American Diary stated in a video saying shifting from exports to domestic sales is a misleading proposition. He suspects the push for domestic sales may be a tactic by the government to exploit factories. Honestly, I didn't want to talk about this silly shifting from foreign trade to domestic sales, but today I just can't hold back. I asked my cousin, who runs a Taobao store, how the shift to domestic sales is going, and he said he didn't even participate because it means slashing prices to the bone, losing money, and he can't afford to join. When I heard that, I was furious. How is this helping companies through tough times? It's just exploiting struggling factories while trying to boost their reputation. Let's forget about whether foreign trade products even suit domestic tastes. The prices won't work either. You can't sell products made with a 7-time exchange rate in the domestic market without a price advantage. How do you expect to sell them? Plus, the domestic buying power is what it is. If people can buy foreign-made goods, can they also afford to buy from domestic brands? The domestic demand is limited. Also, if the government encourages the shift to domestic sales, why not adjust the laws and regulations accordingly? For example, if you shift to domestic sales, do you still need to do a 3C China compulsory certification? This certification takes time and money, but export products don't need it. If you want to sell to the domestic market without a 3C, and without printing the manufacturer's details on the packaging, just wait to be reported by anti-counterfeiting groups. Can the Market Supervision Bureau really just turn a blind eye? If you get penalized, it's a fine starting at 50,000 yuan, and your products will be taken down. Doesn't this seem like a plan to set up small and medium businesses for failure? Don't ask me how I know. In 2021, I made the mistake of shifting from export to domestic sales, and it's just a way of retreating. It's a last resort to get domestic consumers to cover the losses.
Mr. Yen, who works in international trade, shared in a video on Douyin, Chinese version of TikTok.
出口转内销是行不通的。
Shifting exports to the domestic market simply doesn't work. If we don't continue international trade, we're done for. First of all, there's the price issue. Export products usually have higher profit margins, but once we bring these products back home and compete with platforms like Pinduoduo, we'll instantly get crushed. The domestic market is full of low-quality products, cutting corners in prices. People won't wait around for export quality products or take the time to understand international quality standards. Besides, even high-quality products won't sell without a recognized brand.
And as for JD, they're just following along with the policy trend. Even JD's boss Liu Changgong himself is joining the price war in food delivery. He just wants a seat at the table next year with people building robots.
Second, most of our export products don't have domestic demand. Take swimming pools and surfboards, for instance. These things are common overseas. But here, how many people can afford or even enjoy them? So, people need to go abroad and see for themselves that foreigners' lives are different from ours. Third, it's not that we have no solutions. The only real way out of this mess is to move our industries abroad. Globalize the supply chain. Don't keep everything in China. Build factories in Latin America, Southeast Asia, and Africa, then sell directly to Europe and the US. The Chinese government's measures to help exporters sell goods domestically may only be temporary. Profit pressures could force some exporters out of business, while others may operate at a loss simply to keep factories open. One exporter said that the more domestic sales he makes in China, the more money he loses.
在关税战下，京东是砸了2000亿开了专区。
In response to the tariff war, JD poured 200 billion yuan into creating special zones. and Pinduoduo introduced hundreds of billions in subsidies, all to help export companies sell domestically.
But honestly, our domestic market is already weak and can't handle such a large volume of goods. Products like robot vacuums and electric toothbrushes, which used to sell in the US and Europe, have had their prices cut in half. Sure, consumers are happy to buy cheap products, but profits have dropped to almost zero, some even negative. Meanwhile, factories face rising costs. Electricity, labor, and logistics are all getting more expensive. This isn't a promotion, it's literally losing money for attention. The more they sell, the more they lose. This whole thing is like trying to put out a fire while walking on a tightrope. Clearing stock in the short term feels good, but it digs the hole of deflation deeper and deeper. Chinese exporters, especially smaller firms with limited resources to adapt. April saw a significant drop in overseas sales, prompting many exporters to explore domestic alternatives. However, they face challenges like rebranding, compliance adjustments, and logistical repackaging. Jiangsu Textile's sales manager noted the struggle of reworking products labeled in English to meet local standards. Their team is cutting off export packaging to replace it with domestic suitable versions, under high pressure from management to generate income. Larger exporters echoed concerns. China's domestic market is too limited to absorb redirected goods at scale. Zhongshuang, a steel exporter in Jiang, reported over 20 million yen in losses due to unshippable US-bound products. Even with domestic channels, he sees no feasible path to shift all exports internally. Despite unclear statistics on how many firms are affected, China's $524.7 billion export volume to the US in 2024 signals a vast portion of trade is at risk. Early indicators reflect sharp downturns. April's official PMI dropped to 49%, the lowest in over a year, with export orders falling to 44.7%. Shipping rates also declined steadily, pointing to real economic strain. This round of tariffs is escalating faster than the 2018 trade war, with greater economic shock. Although high exports in 2024 cushioned China's debt and weak consumption, the shift to domestic sales under deflation pressure is proving unsustainable. According to CNBC, such redirection may provide temporary liquidity but intensifies deflation. Price wars are eroding profit margins. Consumer Price Index, CPI, turned negative in February and March. Producer Price Index, PPI, has dropped for 29 consecutive months. Goldman Sachs projects 2025 CPI growth to hit 0% and PPI to decline from 2.2% to 1.6%, signaling deeper trouble. Stanford economist Xu Chenggang stated the root cause lies in systemic issues: millions in poverty, rigid land banking systems, and authoritarian governance. Without foundational reforms, China's domestic demand will remain weak, and economic difficulties will intensify.